Is it too soon, says coming home? What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel today. And today we'll be talking about the England-Croatia game in the Euro group stage, with England starting their Euro campaign beating Croatia 1-0. Now obviously we were out for blood and we're out for revenge for the 2018 World Cup semi-final, and to be honest, overall I'm very satisfied with the performance we did today. I think before the game the biggest talking point then was who was playing at left back, and Gareth Southgate chose Kieran Trippier to play at left back. Now I'm not saying that's really a bad decision, but bearing in mind you've got Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell, to play Kieran Trippier with no real experience at left back, it was a bit scary. I think, to be honest, the day before the game we actually knew the squad that it was going to be. Like I said, really the only surprise was Kieran Trippier, but I think overall everyone played really good. I mean, the first 5 minutes I was a bit nervous when England were on the ball, really just going back and forth at the back, and I was getting a bit nervous. It was kind of like that game at primary school hot potato, no one actually wanted the bloody ball. But then on the 5th minute when Phil Foden hit the post, I kind of knew that was going to be the tone of the game and we were going to be the better team. I think in the midfield, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice have a really good partnership. In the Euro qualifying, when Southgate played Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, when one's attacking, one would be defending, and they'd alternate really good. But today Declan Rice was staying as the holding midfielder and Calvin Phillips had a bit of freedom to go in and attack with Harry Kane. I think obviously I can't really knock Sterling much, but I think he was absolutely shite that game.
This man has got a set of bollocks on him.
I think in the first half we were trying to flow some chances. I just felt Sterling was getting in the way. I just felt like he wasn't adding to the creativity. And I just feel on that left hand side he was getting in the way of Trippier and Mason Mount. I think Harry Kane had a really quiet game, but to be honest that's not really his fault. I think Croatia kind of snaffled him out pretty well. I think another positive going forward in the Euros, I think England, when they were attacking, they weren't a one trick pony. They were trying different things. You know, they were making chances with Foden on the right, Sterling on the left, Pickford was booting it over the top, and that was working a couple of times. So we've got quite a few ways we can actually score, which is really impressive. I think the only two players that maybe had a bit of a weaker game than the rest was Raheem Sterling and Kyle Walker. Obviously Sterling got the goal, but except from the goal we didn't really do much. And also Kyle Walker was fantastically defensively, but there's a few passes that he just didn't get right. But I think going forward let Walker down today. He wasn't that impressive going forward. Like I said, a couple of loose passes that were actually quite dangerous passes he did. Jordan Pickford, fantastic game, and I think he's had a few ups and downs for Everton, but he's not really made one single mistake for England yet. I think Southgate should be keeping him in the #1 position. I think someone who deserves some individual praise is Tyrone Mings. He came into that side today with no experience at all in tournament football, and he really showed that we can rely on him, and also England have got the depth everywhere. I think next game I'd like Southgate to play Luke Shaw at left back. Reason being, because we've got Kane up front and he's a real good marksman, when Trippier was going down that left wing, he had to cut back because he's right footed. I'd really like to see Luke Shaw just go to the flank and cross one in, see if Kane could get onto anything. However, instead of Sterling and Foden, I think I'd play Grealish and Sancho. I think in them friendly games before the Euros, Grealish was our standout player up front, and Sancho wasn't even in the 23-man squad today. I hope that's not an injury. I think the only real negative I can really say about today's game, I felt around the 60th minute the England midfield were nowhere to be seen. I felt like people like Luka Modric and Kovacic had literally loads of space to play them balls over to the attack. I felt that maybe Calvin Phillips should have been there a bit more, so they didn't have as much space in the midfield for Croatia. But except from that, there's no real faults anywhere, to be honest. So to conclude then, I felt that we defended really well as a team. I felt our transitions going forward was really good as well and really fast. And yeah, I feel that Croatia didn't really have a chance at all in that game. And I feel as soon as we got the goal, I felt confident England could defend well. Like I said again, the only con I'd say is maybe the midfield went a tiny bit quiet, which is maybe where we need that experience in the midfield like Jordan Henderson. I think today's man of the match would have to be Calvin Phillips. He showed he's a very versatile player playing box to box. He also set up the goal for Raheem Sterling. It was a really good dribble. He started with Kyle Walker on the right, he passed it to Phillips. Phillips skipped around a couple of players and then slotted it into Raheem Sterling, who scored. So my starting 11 for Scotland would be keep the same formation, 4-3-3. I think Pickford in goal, and then the back four would be Luke Shaw, John Stones, Tyrone Mings and Kyle Walker. The midfield three I'd play Jordan Henderson, Calvin Phillips and Mason Mount, and then the front three I'd play Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho and Harry Kane leading the line. I'm really confident now because I think that was our toughest game in the group, and I expect no more than 9 points now. On to Scotland we go.